Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a 3D swipe interaction using After Effects and Protopie. This video will be split into two, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notification to watch the rest of the tutorials. So let's get started. So I already have my designs ready on Figma, so make sure you have yours because I won't be showing you how I made this design from scratch. I used an iPhone 11 screen size, which is 414 by 896 for my design, but feel free to use whatever frame size you're comfortable with. So we just need two screens to get the swipe interaction. We'll just be needing two screens. So I'm going to start exporting them. So we scroll down and we're going to hit 2x. By default it's set at 1x, but what we'll be exporting will be 2x because we want to double the resolution. So now that I click this, I'm going to hit export. I already have a folder saved for this one, so I'm going to hit save. So I do the same thing for book 2, change this, make sure to change this to 2x and hit export. So once that's done, we have our images ready. Now we're gonna head to After Effects. So make sure to have After Effects installed because this is what we'll be making the 3D swipe interaction. So to get started on here, we're going to import the images we just exported out from Figma. So I'm going to click on this left panel here. We're going to hit right click, import, and you hit file, or the shortcut to do this is to click Ctrl or Command I on your keyboard. So I'm going to open this and import these two images by selecting Shift and hit import. So now that's done, we're going to create a new composition by hitting this right here. So my values here I set to 828 and 1792. So remember on Figma we exported this as 2x. So what 2x simply means is 414 and 896 multiplied by 2. So whatever frame size you used here, just make sure to multiply them by 2 to get the width and height of the values we'll be using here. I already did the math, so mine came out to be 828 and 1792, which is here. So just don't forget that because it's really important for the animation. So once you set that, I have also a background color I choose on my design. So depending on what colors you use for your design, just make sure to add something here to just give the animation a cool feel, something like that, to make the interaction look good. So I set purple here because on my design the primary color being used here is purple. So feel free to use whatever you want to. So once that's ready, we're just gonna change this composition into maybe book app. So once that's done, frame rate set to 60, then you hit OK. So now that we've created our composition, to get started, so we're going to drag the book 1, which is the first screen we want to show. I'm going to drag it into the composition. Make sure it sits at the center and it perfectly fits the composition. And I'm going to drag the second one just right next to it. So if you look at the left panel below, we notice book 2 is at the top. So I'm going to click this and drag it under so it sits at the bottom. So going forward, we're going to hit this. So you see this 3D icon here. I'm going to click on this third box here and hit the other one here so we can manipulate this layer in 3 dimensions. So now that that's done, If you go to this render, you notice this is classic 3D, which is where we're gonna set it. So make sure you have this selected in classic 3D because we won't be using the cinema 4D. So when you click that, you hit OK. So after that's set, to get started on making the cube, we're going to add the anchor point. So we're going to select this span behind 2 or the anchor point 2 by clicking this. I recommend you always use snapping by holding Control or Command on your keyboard so it snaps to the side. So I'm going to click this, click the book tool here. So if I select this one highlights, and if I select this, the book to highlight. So just make sure you know which layer you're clicking. So I'm going to click on the second one, and you see the icon point is being active here. So we're going to left click on our mouse by holding it, and we hold Ctrl as well, and we're going to snap this to the side so it stays here. And I'm going to click on book 1 now, and the same thing happened where the anchor point is at the center. We're going to click this and hold Ctrl and move this to the left. So once that's done, to make the rotation now, we're going to hit this icon here or hit W on your keyboard to make this active. So the trick here now is to simply make this rotation. If I click on this and I just rotate this, you see it just moves freely, which is not what we want. So to get the perfect rotation for this, so if you highlight this or you hover around here, which is the green arrow, you see the Y, which is the one we'll be using to rotate. So I'm going to click this and make sure you're holding the shift button so we get the perfect rotation. So now it's going, if you see, if we hold shift, everything goes good. So we want to rotate this to 45 degrees, which is here, just right here. Once that is done, you can just release. So after that rotation is done, we're going to create a null object by clicking this, right click, go to new, and we're going to click on null object. So after this has been created, we're going to hit this 3D icon as well to make this non-tridimensional. So once that's done, we want to center this null at the center of the cube to get the perfect rotation. And the trick here is to get the measurement. What we use here on our design is 828 by 1792. So to get the point, we're going to expand this. So I'm just going to click on this arrow here to expand this, and we're also going to expand the transform. So if you go to position, you notice it's 414 and 896. So to get the center here, what we should be more concerned of is the width, which is 828, and if I multiply that by 2, it's going to give me the center of the null and other tricks. So if I feel that's too complicating, the easier way to get it is whatever value you have here set here, which is the first position point, whatever value that you have here, you just add it here, which is 414. Or just remember the width that we used for the design, which is 828. So you just divide it by 2, and whatever value you have, you set it right here. So once that's done, I'm going to test the rotation if it works. But before I do so, I'm going to select the book 1 and the book 2 by holding shift, and I'm going to drag this parent pick whip. You see, if I start dragging, you see the arrow thing. So we're going to drop it here on this null to parent it. So to see, look at the rotation now and see if it works perfectly, we're going to go to the Y rotation, and on the second one I'm just going to scrub through and try rotating this, and if I do that, you see the cube perfectly rotates and it stays at the center. Perfect. So I'm going to undo this, and to actually make a cool video, probably something you want to play from time to time to see your interaction, I'm going to add a keyframe here. But before I do so, I'm going to set this timeline to something shorter because this is too long. So we're going to move this current. You see the current time indicator, we're going to move it around 1 minute and 15 seconds. So you can look at the time here if you're confused. So I'm going to, as I'm moving this, you notice the time is changing, so I'm going to set it around there, which is 1 minute and 15 seconds. And I'm going to extend this time navigator end so it just stays at the end of the time indicator, which is here. And we're going to slide this and also move this work area end so it stays the time navigator as well. So after that, you see it's shorter than what we had before. So now we're going to scrub the time indicator back to 0 seconds, and we're going to click on this stopwatch here to add a new keyframe, and you see it's been selected here. Now I'm going to move this indicator to somewhere around 40 frames, which is 40 seconds. And on the Y, still on the Y rotation, I'm going to type in the value here for this, and I'm going to type in 90 because I want that to rotate. So now if I scrub through, you see the rotation, it's already good. So to check this out, I'm going to go back to 0 and hit the space bar, or if you look at the preview here, there's a play icon here. I'm just gonna play it to look at the interaction. So now you see the rotation looks really nice, guys. So that's pretty much it, guys. This is the end of the tutorial. If you want to use this video like this, you could easily export it. It's up to you. But if you want to have full access to the interaction and test it on your phone, I recommend you staying for the next tutorial. So subscribe, turn on notification to watch the next tutorial, which I'll be teaching on Protopie. On there, I'm going to be showing you how to use this on your real phones, your real devices, iPhones or whatever you have, to see how the interaction feels. So this is it, guys. Thank you for staying through. If you have any questions, just leave them below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.